Okay, I just went into downtown Quartzsite and ran some errands, and now I'm headed back to my house. there's the tent right there, the Matty hut. So let's head back to the hut. Look at all this nice green grass out here. Isn't this great, living out in the gravel pit? It's a beautiful scene. All right, so what I did before I pulled out of here is I put 2 rocks right next to the tires, so when I came back in, I would know just how to line up where my tarp awning will be easy to set back up, because it's just sitting there waiting for me to put back up. So these 2 rocks here, I'm gonna pull, let me get the window down, and I'm gonna pull my tire right up to it. And then check back here at the other one. I might be over about 2 inches. Let's see. Right there. Right there. That's it. That's how I do it. Okay, I'm back in place. I got the tarp awning back up. I'm getting ready to get my shower. I've got 2 gallons of water here heating up in the sun. This is gonna be toasty warm. Oh, it's already feeling warm. That's why I use a metal pot, because it heats up better in the sun. And I found a good place to hang up my water pump. This hose will go in the bucket of water, which will come up, and my water pump is just hooked here on top of the tent, this little support rod. And you turn it on, and it'll run for a minute and shut off on its own. That way you conserve water. So you just get wet, lather up, then turn it on and get under and rinse off. And with 2 gallons of water, I can take a proper shower. Here's another thing I've done, because I put up these privacy panels and it got too hot in here. So I thought I need to let a little bit of it down so some breeze can blow through, but I can still have privacy to get my shower, because there's a lot of people driving by out here. You can't just have your junk out here in public, unless you're down that way where the naked club is. Then you can just walk around with your junk all over the place. They don't care. But not up in this area. So you got to cover your junk up here. So I just let this down a little bit to let some wind blow through, and I can still get in here and shower, and people just can't see me in here. I could probably let it all the way down to like here, because this screen is so dark you really can't see in here. So I'm about to christen this tent by taking a shower in it. And I noticed in the last video I had this big wrinkle in the tarp here, so I straightened that out and staked it down. I also had some questions about how you stake this tent down. What I do is I start out by staking down these exterior tie downs that come off the side here. This is a steel eye hook that comes through, very strong. Put your paracord through it, run it down, stake it down. I do that on each side. It's 3 sides that have that. The front does not have that. That's the first thing I do, just to get it in place. It's always windy out here, so consider that. And then after I do that, then I slide the tarp under it. After I get the tarp in place, that's when I stake down the 4 corners of the tent. It's got these grommets here that come off each corner, and I just go right down through the tarp. I don't care. It's just a cheap tarp. I do not care. I'll puncture that. Doesn't bother me. Do each corner. And this I put through the grommet of the tarp. This is what gives tension to the awning that I have. See that cord coming up? It goes all the way up here and attaches there. So I decided just to stake that through this part of the tarp, just to give it, you know, some kind of tie down point to keep this side of the tarp from flopping up in the wind. And the same thing over here. I didn't have to do this, but I thought, well, it's there. I might as well just put the stake right through it. And so it comes up. It does the same thing on this side. And you know, it looks like I need to tighten this one up. It's a little loose. See how tarp's kind of sagging? Let me snug that up. I use these cleats. Makes it so much easier. You just push this way and give it some slack, and with your other hand pull the cleat toward the awning. But the cleat was right here, and I just slid it up just to tighten this up, and this is much better. And let's check the other side. No, that feels pretty good. I'll leave that one alone. So there we are, the Matty hut. So when I come in to shower, all I'll do is, these have these tie-up points, but I don't like them. I'd rather just put a alligator clip there to hold it up. And I'll drop that down, stick that back, let both of these sides down. Here, I got another clip over here. And then just give it a little bit of a zip down. That's good enough right there. And shower away. And then when the shower's done, I can just run straight out of here right into the van. And I left a little space between the awning and the tent because I'm going to be adding a shade cloth that comes out to right here. So that's why I did this. I was just thinking it through. The shade cloth will be in middle of next week, and it's going to come out much further off the van than this, about 2 feet further. So it should end up right at the tent. So I wanted to give myself some space to work around that. Okay, back to heating up the water. In the winter, this is not going to work. I just have to heat it up on the stove in the winter. And what I'll do is I will take just a regular pot. Actually, it's this pot here. I'll dip that into the larger pot and then put the small pot on the stove and boil up that small pot, add it to this, and it's the perfect temperature. I think today is the 26th of October, so I've only got a few days left in the month, and I have like about 20 gig left on my Starlink plan. So today's Saturday, and it's college football day. So I thought, well, I want to get my money's worth out of my Starlink plan. So I'm just streaming everything today. And I should end up at the end of the month at 50 gig. And if I go over, let's say I go 60 gig, well, that's just an extra $10. So it's going to average out to $1 per gig, which is less than half that I would pay if I had the unlimited plan like I used to have, because they have jacked up the price to $165 for unlimited. So I'd rather pay 60 than 165, of course. The cell signal out here is pretty good right now. I've been using this WeBoost just for a little bit better speed, but as more and more people start arriving out here, it'll clog up the cell tower, and even though you have good signal, it doesn't mean you have good speed. That's the issue with Quartzsite. It's not the signal, it's just the amount of people that get on the tower, and in the evening, like, you know, when everybody's using their phones and their tablets and stuff in the evening, everything slows down. So I would recommend Starlink and Quartzsite during peak season. See, if you look through the screen of the tent, you can't even see in there, especially with the glare of the sun. So I could actually pull that panel on down, you know, that low if I wanted to. I don't have to worry about anybody seeing me in there showering. But at least this way, I get a little ventilation in there. This tent's going to be great come winter, because you know how naturally hot a tent gets anyway. And with the wind panels up In the winter, I could get my buddy heater, put it in here. I have that long hose that comes with it that goes to the propane tank. And I could just sit the propane tank outside the door here somewhere, you know. Doesn't have to be in there with me. It's gonna be a hot hut, the Maddie hot hut. Oh, speaking of propane, my tank is completely empty and has been all summer. It was no sense in riding around with a full tank, so I'll need to go over to Patty's Propane. I love that spot. You could just pull through. There's guys just standing there waiting for you to drive up. They'll fill up your tank, and it's quick, and it's so much cheaper than taking a tank in to a place like a gas station or Walmart or Lowe's and exchanging. It comes out to a little more than half price. So I always just get mine refilled and they check the tank. It's just a more economical way to go. Okay, I'm gonna get back to my college football game, and I've got friends starting to arrive next week, so it'll be great. I'm ready for some people time. All right, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Take care, be well, and smash the bell.